Welcome to episode 2 of my hardcore Minecraft world. This video is mostly just going to be me building this house. It did take a while. I messed up quite a lot, so there was a lot of having to cut stuff down and restart, but thank you guys for watching the first video. I hope you enjoy this second one, and let's get straight into day 19. So to start off, I had to empty out all my inventory, my bundles, my boats, everything I had from the old house. Had to make some chests up, and I wasn't really super worried about organizing at first. I just wanted to get it all in here, and I'll come back and reorganize everything when I get there. I just wanted to have everything here in the first place. So I do a lot of putting stuff away in the chests right here. There was a lot of stuff from the old house, so these bundles are nice. They definitely have their uses. Like for this, it's okay, especially I have a bunch of little one-off stuffs, but honestly probably could have fit most of it in my inventory, but you know, might as well use them since they're a feature. So I'm gonna head back to the old house. Again, this is the long way. I don't know that yet, but I decided to check out that buried shipwreck I saw that one day. I can see it much more clearly from this side. I could only see that log when I first checked it out. So I come over here and check it out. I had to do a lot of digging for the chests. They were both under stuff, and so I got them both, and I like these armor. I want to have most of the armor trims. I don't know which one I'm gonna fully have on my end gear yet, but I just like to have them all at least. So I came back. There was some random dude in me and Jimbo's house, but you know, we ain't using it no more, so I decided that he can live and that I don't want to deal with him, so he can have the house now. I'm going to take the long trek back home. Again, the long way. If I go left around this island, my house is going to be right there. Well, there's no house yet, but it will be right there. And yeah, made it home and went to sleep. So to start the day, I was going to trade with Jimbo just a little bit, just to get rid of some of the emeralds I had, and now I'm going to do the long task of organizing these chests. So I'm going to take everything out, and yeah, it's just one of those ordeals. Luckily I have all my valuables already on me, so that was one chest said and done. And then it was just putting everything away, trying to find everything I needed for certain chests, and you know, it takes a while because I have a way I like to do stuff. Like I have a wood chest, I have a food chest, and then I always just keep junk chests because I don't want to organize every little thing down to the, you know, maximum it could be, but just enough that where if I need something, I know which chest it should be in. But it's never perfect. I do mess it up a lot, but I like having item frames on it. Just so, even though I know where it is, but it just looks better to have it on there. So I used rotten flesh as a label of junk, and even though I have a mob drop chest, so it can get confusing, but when I have 2 junk chests with rotten flesh compared to 1 bone on the mob drop, it makes sense to me. So I left that day realizing that this is the quicker route for the first time. There's another shipwreck right here, of course. Pretty useless and boring, as per usual. Some stuff, I'll take the iron and the emeralds, but it's nothing to brag about. I'm heading back to the old village because I left all my spruce there. I didn't have any saplings, and I planted a mega tree at the old village, so I'm going back to harvest that just because I want to make the house mostly out of spruce. So I kind of need my wood that I left, but I end up just getting back to the village, and I'm gonna worry about the tree in the morning. I just want to hit the hay and get to sleep. That same guy's here. Oh well, who cares? Just for one night. Don't tell Jimbo. So I started harvesting the spruce tree just to get the saplings, and plus obviously the wood will be nice because I'll end up using it on the house anyway. But had to wait for the saplings, got them. Now back to the new place, and you know, it's just a lot of back and forth at first, but yeah, I found out the quick way that this brings me right to where my land is. I did a lot of grass clearing. I don't really like it, and especially on Java, I know that things like baby zombies, if they're hiding in the grass, you can't hit them. Like on Bedrock, you can swing through the grass and you can still get them, but you will break the grass in Java before you hit the mob. So I wanted to make sure that doesn't happen, because you know, baby zombies can be scary. They ended many of hardcore worlds, and I didn't want that to be mine. So, but after that, I started a little bit of a farm here just so I can trade with Jimbo in the future. But it's always nice to have some wheat. I mainly eat golden carrots just because, you know, they're the best in my opinion. Some people say pork chops or steak, but I like the saturation. I made a couple of books just to try and make my bookshelf decent. Get some okay enchants, only 9, but you know, it's better than a plain table. So I wanted to do a lot of terraforming on the next day, so I got enchanted shovel and I lit up my little bit of land just a little bit, just so that I can sleep safe and sound and not have to worry about mobs. Day 22 began, and I was just going to do some terraforming because I know that building on not flat land can make it look better, but just for now I'm gonna build flat. Who knows, maybe in the future I'll terraform around my house, make it look a little better, or build a second house somewhere and not have it on flat land. But just for now, where my building skills are at, I'm more comfortable building on flat land. And I'm going to use some of the dirt I just got to fill in some creeper holes from previous nights. But I just want it to be halfway decently flat. I'll keep some of the natural hills in, but I had no idea what my plan for the house was yet, so I was just trying to make it look decent. Here I'm going to start my deep slate hole. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to hit a mine shaft, and I'm not really going to worry about it yet. I kind of just keep digging through for my hole. I did take a look at it, but I didn't want to go in yet. I just wanted to start this house, so I'm just going to block my little way up so I can keep my hole going for my ladder. And then I harvested some deep slate down here. I like the way that spruce and deep slate match together. They're kind of dark wood, dark, and I've never really liked cobblestone or stone bricks or nothing like that. So I'm going to harvest a bunch of deep slate. It's a very common theme. I'm going to do the house in parts, and then I'm going to have to just, you know, come back down here. So as it says, this is the first time my software just didn't record. I spent the what was left of that day just laying out and the floor of the house and starting some of the framing, but you'll see day 23 begins that I didn't get too far, just basically the deep slate floor and some. So yeah, I realized right there that it didn't record, but this is what I did. I just got the corners done and the floor. I decided to go with an L shape because I usually just end up building a big square. Even if it does look okay, it's usually just a big square. So I thought I'd change it up. And I want the logs to be pretty evenly spaced, so I expanded a little bit. But I don't really have a plan. I'm really just flying off the seat of my pants, but I just want it to look not so flat. I want it to have a little bit of 3D-ness to it. So so it's not just a big oak box or a big spruce box. So I'm trying something out with these logs, and I ended up just kind of figuring out where I want them to go and laying out the bottom frame of the logs. Ran out, of course, so I had to go gather some more. Like I said, it's a very common theme that these days I build, run out of resources, go get resources, build, run out of resources, go get resources. So there's a lot of that. I come down here, I'm going to go back to building the little trim around the house, and just trying to figure it out. I know that these are going to be like that. I'm going to frame out the top, just mimicking the bottom. Doing this at night, I ended up doing a lot of night work just because, I'm pretty safe building the house, I feel like. Right back to getting more logs. I haven't had to go back for deep slate yet, but I do eventually start most days going down to get deep slate. But just for that's not until I start on the roof. But for now, I'm just gonna finish framing out the top, and then I'm gonna start putting in the posts where they go. Just again, I want it to be not flat, so I'm putting these in just to. I'm gonna have the walls be sunk in one, and that's something I messed up a lot. I'm gonna have windows in all these little gaps, but one thing I messed up is I made 2 stacks of windows, and then I placed them all in the wrong spot, so I had to kind of grind for some XP to try and get silk touch on anything. I ended up getting it on a shovel, which you'll see in a coming day or two, but just for now it's all these posts. And the long plan is, I still haven't done it yet, and as of editing this I'm on day 96, I believe, but I want to do little flower beds in each of these little window imprints. But until then, I don't really do much detailing. That's one thing I struggle with. Like, in my mind, I can build a house that looks okay, but I struggle with the little things. But I start stripping everything because this is my favorite block, probably, is stripped oak logs. They look the best. And so I finished out here with my diamond axe just because, the iron one I made broke. And I'm going to torch up my island a good bit here just to make it a lot more safe. I built a stack of torches just for this, so then I go around locking everybody in their house, same as the other village. I freed this guy, and then, locked him in his house, and went to sleep there. So my personal favorite glass is black stained, and I like the way panes look just because it's not, again, so flat, doesn't blend in with your wall, it gives it a little bit of depth. So I went and killed some squid in the local river just to get some ink sacs. I didn't know how many I was going to need, I just kept killing them until I felt like I had enough. But when I crafted it into dye, it was the first time I've seen the dye with, like, on the paper. I hadn't seen that yet. I didn't know that was a new thing they did. Also, I feel like placing doors on Java is way more complicated than Bedrock. I feel like when I place them on Bedrock, it always places them like how they're supposed to be, but every time I tried to do a door on there, it always messed up. And I'm going to come back through here eventually and move this after I figure out that I'm wrong about putting the windows in. As you can see here, I'm building the outlines in the logs. They're supposed to be behind it one. So I don't know it yet, but I'm wrong. So I'm making all these random shapes, just don't want it to look the same, especially this one. This one's strange. I didn't know what I was doing, but I got them all laid out. I made the glass panes, and yeah, this is when I tried the ink sacs because that's what it used to be, and I didn't know that these were a thing. But so I made the panes, and I ended up laying them all out, which this is wrong. And looking back, I'm so frustrated. This could have saved me so much time, because, or even if I had Silk Touch already, I wouldn't have had to go back and break them all. But I realize immediately after I wake up that it's wrong, as you will see. So I hit the hay, and I wake up on day 27, and I turn around and I immediately realize what I did. And I sit here and just ponder and think about my mistake and get a little frustrated, but I know what I'm gonna have to do. I could have just broke the glass, and that probably would have been quicker than trying to get Silk Touch like I did. But I start laying out the shapes one back, and I end up going through and breaking all these. I don't know what I was doing. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna line out the shapes on the floor so I can save some wood, but I end up not doing that anyway, and eventually I end up changing to oak planks here, I'm pretty sure. I use oak somewhere. I believe it's here, but here I'm trying to get Silk Touch, and nothing has it. I make a couple of iron shovels just to see if I can get it on that, and don't get it there. Make one more, and I'm only got 16 levels, and I need 20 to get Silk Touch. So my original thought was just to trade with Jimbo, but my farm had not produced quite enough. I don't even know if I could have traded with him once. I don't remember. I think I do trade with him maybe once, but that's it. And obviously you're not going to get 4 levels from trading with a villager one time. But after doing that, I just went back to figuring out how to do it, and yeah, I was not going to break them. I should have. It probably would have been quicker. Got more black dye real quick, but I really did not want to apparently, so I did it the hard way, which was this. So I spend the night here killing mobs, trying to get enough XP, and then eventually it stops recording the rest of the night, but I do end up getting all the XP I needed, and into day 28 I started with making that Silk Touch and getting all my pains back. It could have been a lot easier, I feel like, but it didn't take too long. I just had to kill some mobs all night, but you know, after that I'm gonna tell you now, I start putting the windows in and I do it wrong again. And it was at this point I realized that I wanted to do oak, so it wasn't spruce on spruce. And oak is okay. Oak is a decent option of wood for me. I do like the new pale oak. I've always liked the blue wood from the nether, but in dark oak, I hate birch. I can't stand birch. So I'm gonna do the outline here with some oak planks, just so that it isn't flat colors on flat colors, that there's a little bit of separance. But here I start building the windows wrong immediately. I'm putting them in the oak again, and it's right here when I realize that I'm wrong again, and I'm gonna end up doing it again, but just for now I realized before I put any panes in, thankfully. So I start making out the shapes again, and I didn't know what to do with the shapes. I'm just like, okay, big window maybe, and you know, this one won't be a window and that one will be a full window, and it's right here. I immediately start doing it wrong again, and I do this one and I believe the next one before I realize that I'm wrong again. I'm just like, yeah, that random, same as it was the original time. I'm like, yeah, that looks good. And then I realized, I guess I didn't show it, but I realized that I was wrong again, so I went back and broke them and put them one out like they're supposed to be, and went to sleep there. See, this is why I cleared out the grass. This guy could have been a real threat. I mean, I only had to hit him once because he burned most of his life away, but went out and got some more oak. I didn't plan on using it, so I didn't really have any, but gathered some trees, and then it was just back to doing my house. Today I believe I finished up everything but the roof. I finished the windows at least. I don't know if I put in the ceiling yet, but I do finish the windows, except for maybe the glass. I don't know if I get all the glass, but I also want to, when I start recording new days, I haven't done any yet. I'm still on day 95 or 96, but I'm going to start recording my mic live and then coming back in and doing voiceover after if it's needed. I don't know why I didn't do it from the beginning. I should have. I think it would have been a little better because you can hear my live reaction to certain things. Like here, I'm sure there wasn't a lot of anything, but you know, certain parts it could have used live commentary, I feel like. And the voiceover, I mean, is nice just to explain broad things, but you know, it doesn't get the genuine natural reaction. So I'm gonna do that when I start recording again, but I was 4 glass short of finishing it, but all in all, I was happy with the way it looked here. And said goodnight to Jimbo, and that was it. Now it's time for the roof. I like the deep slate tile. I love the way it looks. So I'm gonna make up some stairs and slabs that I don't end up using. I use the stairs, but not the slabs. So I'm gonna start laying them down, and I realized I built the house uneven to me. I'd like one in the middle, but I worked with it. So I take these out. I ended up putting them back in later, but that's not for a little bit. So I'm gonna start just the shape. I don't quite know how the L works yet, but I do figure it out. Here I just kind of expand it across, which is not how it works at all, but I end up putting these in, and I didn't mind the way they looked. I usually do like a more grand version of that, but I wasn't worried about it, especially since they were 2 wide instead of being 3 wide, so that there's not a middle to them. But here I'm realizing that this part is kind of confusing to me, but I end up just putting in another row until I ran out of stairs, and then I called it and went to sleep. So I actually ended up having another couple of stairs. Well, they were blocks, but I made them into stairs. But after this, I'm just going to head down into the mines to get more. It's a very common theme, like I said. Start the day, go get deep slate, put it to use, go get more. But I'm going to give you guys just a little break from me talking and give you some music here. I hope you enjoyed that break from me. You'll probably get more. I might put them over more of the deep slate sections because, like I said, I start every day getting deep slate usually. But I could also do it over some of the roofing because it's a lot of that too. But I'm not the quickest builder. I make a lot of mistakes, obviously. You can see I keep placing stairs wrong. I feel like stairs just place wrong no matter what you try to do. But yeah, I'm trying new things while I'm editing, like that music break. I might do more. It definitely saves me from just trying to ramble on about what to talk about while I'm placing stairs for the, 10th day in a row, but we'll see. I'm looking back at it now, and ignore her just for that part, but looking back at it now, and I do like the way that little music section went. so I might do it in the future, but I'm figuring out here how the corners work. I thought it'd be a little more difficult, but it really isn't. It's just this. It's pretty simple, you know, just putting them in and then bending them to the correct aspect where they have to go. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side, but yeah, it's pretty simple. And I go to take a look at the house here, and I believe this is when I ran into some spiders with speed. I knew that they could be invisible in, I believe it's just hardcore, maybe just hard mode, but I did not know that they could have speed. That's definitely something. I don't know if that happens in Bedrock. I know I've never ran into it in Bedrock, but I've also never played. When I played Bedrock, they didn't have hardcore, so if it is just a hardcore thing, then, you know, that's the reason. But here he is. There's another one after him. I didn't know. I was guessing it was speed because I know speed's blue, and I could tell he was moving a little quicker. But I'm trying to admire the house, and here comes another one. But I make quick work of them and hit the hay. Well, there you have it. Instead of listening to me mumble over some roofing and some deep slate, you get some chill vibes. But I'm finished the actual roof portion, and I'm gonna add this little extra overlaying layer of stairs just to help give the house more of a shape rather than it just be a pointed cone on top of a square box. And I'm gonna give the arches a little extra detailing, which I'd already done when I built them, and then I just broke them, so now I had to remake them. But using what little deep slate I have left to add another layer of stairs to this first arch. And yeah, I'm gonna run out of stairs here before I can finish the whole corner here, but then I'm gonna light up the inside and just throwing them down for now. I'll go back through eventually and make them look a little better, but put some torches down, just try to make as much of my island as possible spawn proof, just so I don't have a wall yet, but so if I build one, then I'll be safe. So I finally finished getting the deep slate, and I got way too much deep slate stairs here for what I needed to do. I just had to finish detailing out this arch and then finish rounding out this corner to make them connect, but I believe other than that, that was the last of the roofing finally. I tried to figure out how to make this look better. I just gave up. And then a little bit of footage was lost here, but I basically just started putting the ceiling in to make the attic space, and just using oak, and that was a very short and easy day. Start today off by gathering some more oak to finish out the ceiling of the house, and at long last it was finally getting very close to over. I broke this to give it a little bit of depth, and so it's not just flat and the door poking in, but the rest isn't. Plus there was already another layer behind it. Then I finished the ceiling in here. It ain't much up here. This is just gonna be like the bedroom space, but now I'm gonna work on detailing the doorways a little bit, just kind of guessing here. I always like to do a little bit of like a porchway, walkway stairs, so that's what I'm doing here, and just making things to give it some detail and some life, some trapdoors. And then I decide that I want to use spruce stairs here rather than the oak, just so it's not the same color. I don't like colors fighting each other too hard, so here's just more just trying to figure out how to give it some detail. And I'm gonna make these little flower beds eventually, but now I'm just copying the same thing onto the other door and doing all the same stuff as I did. I'm gonna put some dirt in here on both sides and make it little flower areas. I wanted 2 tall bushes, but I don't end up getting them. So, yep, I just finished, put everything away, and that's basically everything that gets done to the house. I add a little bit of like plants. Like tomorrow I go and get some bushes and some azaleas to put right in those little flower beds on the doors, but other than that, and moving my bed in and moving my chests in, the house as a structure is now done. So finally, as I said, I'm gonna look for, originally here I'm on a mission for 2 tall flowers I wanted to put in that spot, but I could not find any. I grabbed these pumpkins because I didn't know if Jimbo wanted pumpkins or melons. He wants melons, but it's nice that if I have a farmer in the future who wants pumpkins, I'll have them. And then I made some bone meal because the village has some of the firefly bushes, and I'd never really messed with them. Me and my wife played once, and I saw them, but I never used them. I had no idea that when you place them, they give off little firefly effects. That was new to me. I had no idea. And temporarily, I put them here just because I didn't know I was gonna change them. But I ended up making some lanterns to put on the doorways for some light rather than torches. And that is basically all I do to the doorways. I put these little stairs in because I think it looks good. But the lanterns, and then I'm gonna move my bookshelf inside using my Silk Touch shovel, so it takes a second because I don't have Silk Touch on anything else. But I'm gonna move my bookshelf inside, put it upstairs, and this is basically all the detail the upstairs gets. It gets a little enchanting table, and then me and Jimbo's beds eventually. But other than that, now it's time to start the long process of transferring everything from outside to the inside. And the easy part is just putting all my stations down, just throwing them down wherever. And then I started with the chest. I'm kind of doing it by grouping the chest together, so I can just basically place these down and just put what I got in them. So this one was the mob drops. I put them in the same spot just because I was already kind of getting used to it. So I put mob drops here, and this one's just a junk chest. There wasn't anything really in it, but then I'm gonna go back out. I'm gonna get my wood chest, and I'm gonna bring that back in, put it in the same spot it was, put everything back in it. You know, just a lot of the same stuff, just moving in compared to being outside. Usually when I do this, like, I'll have my little workstation outside like it is now, all my chests and all my crafting outside, and then I just kind of leave it all out there for a while, and like I end up living outside even once my house is finished, because I just don't want to move everything in. That's why I just said I'm gonna move everything in right quick, right now, just get it out of the way, or else it's gonna stay outside. I'm gonna keep putting chests outside, and I'm never gonna actually live in my house. So I did the thing I hate doing, which is moving chests, but I figured I'd do it now before I had way more, loot and junk to move in. So just taking the 6 chests I had and bringing them in rather than when I have 12, or just getting it out of the way. It ain't much, but it's just a very long and annoying process. So if I had to do it, you guys get to sit here and watch, because that was most of the day. I mean, the house is done, so now it's just all the junk and moving everything inside. But other than that, the house is done, thankfully. I believe this night I take some of my moss and grow it and get the azalea bushes so that I can replace the firefly bushes. I do keep the firefly bushes, just not in the main setting. Right there, I end up putting them off to the side, but because I would have probably done away with them, but I didn't know they gave an effect off, like the little firefly particles, which I really like. I want to get the azalea thing that hangs down and gives off little green particles too, but I ended up getting a bunch of 4 of the flowering azalea bushes and putting them here. And I was gonna try and put like a moss block on top of them, but I didn't really like the way it looked. I feel like it crowded too much, so I just put the azalea bushes in, and doing the same thing over here. And I'm gonna take the firefly bushes, and like I said, I'm just gonna put them to the side. I think it still looks good, and it's gonna keep those particles floating around. And then I'm gonna break out this window, and I'm gonna try to use water. On Bedrock, you can use water on boats like this, and the villager will stay in, compared to like falling out like they do on Java apparently. I didn't know that yet, so I tried for a second to get him in there, but yeah, he was taking damage, and so I ended up just building a little stairway for him after a couple of these failed attempts of pushing him back in the boat. And yeah, but I realized that it wasn't working, so once day 36 here starts, I just end up building a little stairway for him. Nothing much, just, something I can get his boat up and get him upstairs, just so that he can, be up there. Obviously, I'm not going to keep him out in his little shack. Jimbo's my friend. He gets to live inside with me. All other villagers are nothing compared to Jimbo. He's the only one that matters. Even if I get a mending villager, he will not be anything. He is not Jimbo. He does not get to live in the house. He will be treated in terrible conditions, as they should. But Jimbo gave me a home when I needed it, so he gets the luxury of a home when he needs one. And now I'm just killing some mobs for, I believe it was for wool, just to make Jimbo a bed, but I ended up killing more just because I was already out there. And then I'm gonna sort out all the loot I got from all those animals. And yeah, the house is basically done, and day 36 here is the last day of this video. This video is basically just centered around the house because that's just how it worked. I spent all my time building the house. Because when I was playing, I wasn't really thinking of content's sake, and like there is like a turning point in a day in the future where I realized I'm like, man, I've really done nothing in these days. I've got nothing to show for it. But that happens eventually, and I really don't have much to show for the first 100 days in my opinion. Could just be me being hard on myself, but yeah, that was it. I got Jimbo to his bed, made him figure it out, and that was the end of day 36. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 2. I know it was just a lot of the same, building this house, but it took me a while to build it and I messed up constantly, but I truly hope you enjoyed, and episode 3 will be out soon. Hopefully I can get it edited, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the fun things that everybody always tells you to do, and peace out.